guys, this is Stephanie and I am Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Today I'm coming to you with day 12 of the Spring to It Videothon. Today I'm talking about popular books that I haven't read. Now I feel like there are so many popular books that I haven't read, especially when I'm like supposed to be coming up with prompts for tags and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I can't think of anything. And then I'm like, well, this book, well, I haven't read that book. Well, this book, I feel like I haven't read anything. And then I look back on my shelves and I'm like, I guess I have read books. It's just I own a lot of books that I haven't read. Yeah. So I'm just kind of going to be talking about a few books, and 4 of the 5 of them are series of books that I haven't read any of them in that series. The first one is going to be Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I've actually never read anything by Laini Taylor, and I've heard that she is amazing, so I do want to read something by her, probably starting with this series. I will be honest, I bought this series because I thought the cover was beautiful, and I actually bought the 3rd book first, and I started reading it, and that's when I was like, I think there's something I'm supposed to know already. Yeah, I'm a genius. And I couldn't really tell you exactly what this book series is about. There's a girl who works for a man who collects teeth or something along those lines. And then I know it has to do with like angels and demons and things along those lines and chimera. But outside of that, I don't really know much beyond it. But I know it's supposed to be good. And I know it's very popular. So there you go. The next book that is super popular that I haven't read is going to be the Kiss of Deception series by Mary E. Pearson. This is a series that I have been meaning to read for probably like 3 or 4 years. I actually checked it out from the library and I think I started it like, it was fairly new. None of the other books were out in the series and I saw it at the library and I thought the cover was pretty. So I was like, okay, I'll read that. And I probably read the first like chapter and I was like, it's okay, and I took it back and I never finished it. And then years later, it's super popular in Booktube and everybody's like, oh my goodness, you have to read the whole series. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I will. And once I heard the premise of the book, I kind of understood that first chapter better. So, you know, whatever. It is a book series I would like to read, but I haven't read yet. The next book series that I haven't read, but it's super popular, is going to be the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I definitely want to read this one because I loved Six of Crows and Wonder Woman, also by Leigh Bardugo, and I am just convinced that anything she writes, I will like. So there's that. I'm not 100% sure what this book is about, but I know it follows Grisha, which I learned about in Six of Crows, and it's in that same world as well. So again, I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's popular and I know the author, so I know I will like the series. And now for the standalone book that I haven't read, which I feel is very popular on YouTube, but I will be reading this soon, is The Martian by Andy Weir. I am excited to read this one. I'm going to be reading it this spring for sure because I've been wanting to read it. And you know, I don't know why there are books that I just want to read and I don't read. I have no explanation for the silliness that is, but this is one I've wanted to read for a while. I think since I saw the movie, and in the beginning it's like, the movie's like, you know, based on the book, and I was like, based on a book? Anytime I see that, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have read the book first. Sometimes I get them read and sometimes I don't. But this is one where I saw the movie quite a few years ago and I liked it so much I want to read the book. And I've heard great things about the book. I've heard that it's funny and it's witty and people are like, I kind of hear Matt Damon reading it in my head and I'm like, I could go for that. I like Matt Damon. He's cool. He's a good actor. I enjoy him. Basically, we're following a guy named Mark Watney who is on Mars with his team. And then a sandstorm happens. The team leave and they think that he's dead and he's not. So he's stuck on Mars and he basically has to live, like stay alive long enough for somebody to come back and get you. But it's going to be like a very long time before people come back to Mars. So it's interesting and it's fun and it's funny, and I like funny in a book. So I'm excited to read this one soon. I've heard lots of good things. And the last is a book series that I have heard about for years from Booktube, totally popular in Booktube. And the last book in it, I think, comes out this fall, and that would be the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have heard so many mixed things on this. People love it, people hate it, people like it, but, or and I've never read anything by Sarah J. Maas. So I will be reading the novellas, which is kind of like before these. Now, when I looked at the published date, the novellas came out like between like the 3rd and the 4th book, but according to Sarah J. Maas's website, you should read the novellas first and then read this. So I'm going to be reading the Assassin Blade books. I don't remember if it's 3 or 4 novellas, something like that, prior to reading this one. but I'm definitely going to be doing that this spring because I want to kind of get started on them. I've had a lot of people say though, once you read one, you just kind of keep reading, you just eat them up. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm good with that with a series. I love to binge read a series. I'm just afraid of some of the things that people have said, okay, be careful, there's a lot of sex in there and it's explicit. And I'm like, why? I just don't like that in a book, and I don't want to have to filter it out, and then I don't want to have to refer it to somebody and say, but just so you know, I want to say, this is a great book. Everybody would like it. Your kids could read it. I don't know if kids should read the later books of these. I haven't read them yet. But a popular book I have not read. Now there are loads more books that I haven't read, but I want you to comment down below with what popular book or series is super popular on Booktube, but you haven't read yet. And let me know if it's a book series you're going to read or a book series you're like, it's popular, but I'm just not going to read it. I would love to know. If you would like to participate in our Spring to It videothon, by all means do. I have all the prompts linked down below. You can do a past video, a future video, you can do today's and release it on the same day we do. And if you do, let me know because I definitely want to be seeing those. Also, check out the channels of all my co-hosts. They are down below. We have Brews and Reviews, Brooke Clark, Christina's Journey, Danny Buxton, and A Story with Serenity Dawn. And that is everything. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget, I'm going to be here tomorrow. Goodbye!